so this is Tisha, and this is 40 Mask Off. My first episode is about it's okay to not be okay. And this resonates so much with me because I'm always the person, people come to as far as not necessarily telling me their problems, but just to see, as they say, a smile on my face. And just even if I was going through whatever, I never really showed it. And so I'm just at a point in my life where it was just getting hard to keep that genuine smile, and not saying that I couldn't smile. I don't like being fake, if you can understand what I'm saying. I don't like being fake at all. And so it was just, for me, the uppity, the bubbly person, and there for everybody, making everybody laugh. Like, I no longer really had that, and I don't know if it's just a point to where I'm going to be 40 next year, or just at the end of trying to act like everything is okay, that I'm just like, hey, it's not okay, and I'm just openly saying that. I give people advice all the time if somebody asks me, but I need to learn how to take my own advice and take care of me. It's crazy because you grow up in a family where you're taught to make sure you take care of business, take care of this, take care of that. You pray to God, and once you pray, you leave it alone, or you pray and you go forth like God gonna take care of it, or you just being a black woman, or a woman, period. I can only speak on being a black woman. I don't know about being another culturally woman. I can speak on being a black woman. You're told you just got to make do. You keep going and keep going and keep going. And then you're told, if you have any doubts, you pray, and that's it. And then if you got questions, sort of speaking, you gotta then you don't have faith in God. Dude, I'm 39 years old, and for so long I was ashamed of having like moments of depression and anxiety because I really couldn't explain it. You know what I'm saying? I was working, I'm still working, you know what I mean? I'm taking care of my kids. I'm not, I'm not out here, don't have a roof over my head. Kids got everything they need and want. But it was just like, dude, how long am I gonna allow myself to play into what someone wants me to be, if that makes any sense? Like, I'm not okay. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned since I've been going to therapy that it's okay not to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that was more of a shame type thing, or weakness if I said, oh no, I'm having this issue or this and that, like, and not even that I looked at other people when they were outwardly say, hey, this is what's going on, I need help. Like, not like I looked at them as being weak. I only can speak on me. So, and then when you hear depression, anxiety, movies play a lot, society play a lot in having us thinking that it's one way and it's not a variety of a spectrum. But anxiety and depression can be all worldwide, a big spectrum. You don't have to necessarily be talking about you're gonna kill yourself or you don't want to go on, and not discrediting those people that have those issues. But what I'm saying is, I had to realize that my issue was just as big as to me as to someone who was going through whatever their situation is, and that being in therapy, that helped me out a lot. And when you're used to doing something continuously, listen, I'm 38. I probably, if I can remember back to even just having anxiety, probably like high school. You know what I'm saying? And granted, we don't have all these issues that these kids have now in school, but you still had issues. I was a bigger girl, black, and my parents didn't have a lot of money. Or I shouldn't say my parents. I was raised by my mother. you know, once her and my dad got divorced, and it was just like, didn't have a lot of money, you know, or wanted people to look at you a certain way. So, you know, I've had my issues, but it's kind of, it's carried on. And people ask me in therapy, like, is this something you were taught to do, or something you just kind of, in so many words, mask over? And I had to think about it. Like, I think it was something that, if you look at it both, because, you know, I had my mom and my dad saying, you know, you got to make sure you take care of business, you got to work, nothing's for free, you know what I mean? And then, but I had my mom who was more understanding of whatever my feelings were, but still it wasn't like I was crying or saying, Mom, I'm, you know, doing this and that. I still kept a lot of stuff from her. And then I had my dad, who really couldn't talk to, because I don't know if it's one being male or just him being older. I'm not real sure. A lot of times they don't understand. Even now, I can think about when I'd be like, I got a headache. And my dad like, why you have a headache? You stressing. You just supposed to pray and leave it in God's hand and you claim it. I don't believe in name and claim it. Now, however your belief is, I don't believe in name and claim it. Because if that's the case, I say I want to be a millionaire all the time. Why ain't no millionaire? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was that easy, like a lot of stuff we ask God for, we not ready for. And then if we do get it, you don't necessarily know that God really gave it to you anyway. It could be the devil that's giving you something that you thinking is God. So I just think differently in a lot of areas. So I didn't believe in name and claim it. I believe that if you pray and you talk to God, He's going to do stuff in His time. His time is not our time. And again, it takes me back to, I had to get to a point, like, I need help. Like, I didn't want everybody in my business. So for me to just go talk to somebody as far as like a friend or something, is like, no, I don't want them in my business. I don't want them to look at me a different way, or, you know, or whatever the situation is. So it was like, I had to get to the point of, you know, because I was holding everything in. I wasn't really dealing with whatever had happened. It was just more like, okay, this happened, let me keep going. You know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, you know, I feel like crying is not necessarily a weakness, but it was just like, I didn't want people to catch me crying. And, you know, crying is, whether not, you know, I feel like when you cry, you get, you know, you got it off me. And I could be, you know, I wasn't sleeping. I could be up, you know, my mind just racing, just making sure I take care of my kids. And I can begin to cry. And it's like I'm fighting. I'm having this mind battle, like, don't cry, don't cry. You okay? You got to keep going, keep going, keep going. So it's me trying to battle my mind, at the same mindset I've had. I say 39 years, but it's not 39 years, but it's been long enough, meaning I'm 39. You cannot change that overnight. It's something that you have to continue to battle with yourself with. You know what I'm saying? I think they say it's like between 21 and 30 days to create a new habit. So I just have to keep telling myself, hey, you know, even if I'm crying, stop battling myself, just let it out, you know. So basically stop holding stuff in. So, you know, I'm just learning that it's okay to not be okay. You know, it's okay not to be strong, or okay not to have that front up, or like everything's okay. Not that you need everybody in your business, because I don't believe that. I don't believe everybody needs to be in your business. I don't believe that everybody who asks, are you all right, is really concerned about, are you all right? They're looking for stuff to talk about. They're looking for stuff to hold you down, or to table to say, see. And granted, that's not everybody. However, you need to be careful about the people that you allow to be close to you, or to talk to you, or, you know, speak into your life. Now, I do believe that you don't need all this negative stuff. So negative, or people, you know, just feeding you anything, you know. And that's what unfortunately a lot of us crave, is attention. And I've never been one to crave attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a problem with talking to people. I got that from my grandfather. And, you know, it's just, you never meet a stranger. Like, if I don't know you, I'm going to speak. I don't have a problem with talking to you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, so that's not the issue. But I didn't want everybody to know me, or to know that I was going through something. So, you know, in 2019, I just came to this point, like, dude, I cannot keep up a smile, or you know what I'm saying, like the genuineness of the smile, I'm realizing is not there. Now, it's probably been some years that it's really not been there, but I'm realizing that the genuineness of my smile is not really there, you know. And mental illness is a big issue. Now, a lot of us are scared of the word mental illness because we think we should be somewhere in a straitjacket. We should be on 1,000,005 meds or whatever. But you know what? Sometimes you just need to talk to somebody that don't know you per se day to day. Because a lot of times people we know won't even tell us about us because they're afraid of how we're going to accept what they're telling us, or they're afraid of maybe if I be truthful, she won't do this, she won't do that. So you know what I'm saying? So you need a person, again, outside of God. I'm not saying that God cannot be your all be all, because he should be the person you look up to. But God has created and given men and women the ability to talk to people, doctors, for a reason. Like if you have high blood pressure, and aren't you going to address it? If you're concerned about your health, aren't you going to address it? Are you going to keep putting it on the back burner, knowing you can have a heart attack, knowing or whatever the situation, you can have a stroke? Are you going to continue to put that on the back burner? Most likely 90% of us, I shouldn't even say 90, it's not even that big. With me being in healthcare, people ignore things. They feel like if you ignore them, that they'll go away, and that's not true. And that's how I was. Like, no, I was like, I don't want to be on all this medication. Like, I'm not one to take medication. Like, I hate the way pain pills make me feel. Like, I just don't want to be on medication. You know what I'm saying? So that was another thing that kept me from it. And you have to, even if it's something temporarily, you have to allow yourself to get help. You know, number one, you got to come to that conclusion, like, dude, I'm not okay. You know what I'm saying? And so that was a big thing for me, even to accept the fact. I've known for a while that I wasn't okay, but I had to allow myself to get to the point of, okay, I know I'm not okay. Well, let me take that step to get help. You get what I'm saying? So, and that being said, you know, just because you have anxiety, depression, you could, you know, just talk to a therapist, you know, or, you know, and I'm not advocating medication, but you know what I'm saying? My point is, you're not going to continue to, if you had heart issues, ignore it. You shouldn't, at least, because you got to take the issue can only get worse, you know? So this, me being in therapy and talking to a therapist, you know, you start to realize a lot of stuff. Like, dude, I have been masking a lot of stuff, not even doing it purposely, just because you got in a routine of like a wheel, sort of speaking, a routine of doing stuff, not even knowing that you're masking or hiding or not dealing with a lot of stuff. So just even, man, this is the 3rd week of therapy. I've learned so much, and I gotta go back though, because I was initially seeing a counselor starting earlier part of this year, and the counselor is, you know, you think of laying on a couch and spilling out your life, and it can be that way, but you know, you just kind of got this in your head of how things are. So I've been seeing a counselor. Initially I was going weekly, then I was going bi-weekly, and then it was just getting crazy with work. And so then it was just like I would cancel appointments, and it's just like, hey, listen, I'm getting worse. And so, like, I've got, you know, help. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, hey, I gotta take care of me. Like, I'm not okay. You know, I have to deal with what's going on. It could get worse. You know what I'm saying? If I don't. So, you know, I'm just basically on here trying to help those who are like me, felt like me, or are like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you're asking for help, just because you're going for help, does not mean, especially if you're religious, and again, we got to go look at that religious word, because a lot of us is just routinely religious and just doing it because maybe that's what we were taught, you know, and we not really, you know, practice. We just doing it to be doing it. But, you know, just saying that just because I felt this way, I felt that way, doesn't mean that negates or neglects how I really feel, or that I don't believe in God, you know, or whatever. So I had to come to that conclusion, like, hey, you know, and a lot of my family who are older are just like, whether they believe it or not, I gotta do for me the same thing that kept my family safe, or my family from doing whatever may not work for me. You get what I'm saying? But that doesn't lessen how I feel about God, doesn't lessen my relationship with God, doesn't say that I don't love him, doesn't say that I don't feel like I don't believe in him. But it's like, just like they tell you to pray and say faith without works is dead. When you pray, you have to get up and do something. You can't just say, God, I want to stop smoking, help me stop smoking, but you go still smoke 35 packs a day. You get what I'm saying? So you got to put some effort to it. So, you know, like I said, I always use this analogy: 30 days in a month, 28 of them days I'm gonna keep it rolling, but it's a couple days I'm just like, God, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's harder than usual. So, you know, basically I'm just trying to open, you know, everybody's eyes, or help, if I can help one person in my therapy process. But mental illness is real, and mental illness is not just one strategic part of it. Mental illness is broad. You know, I've found myself having panic attacks that I've never had, like doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like nothing new had happened, and it's just like, oh my God, like I need to deal with this. So, you know, this is episode 1. If you have any questions, please send a message. Like I said, after I continue to do videos, I'm gonna eventually go live. If there's any topics you want to talk about, that's good. And it's just, you know, I hope I'll be a help to someone while I'm in the process of helping myself. Again, subscribe, share, like. This is 40 Mask Off, and the reason I call it 40 is because I'm reaching my 40s, but it's mainly called Mask Off. I can only talk about 40 because I'm reaching 40. So hopefully this has helped somebody. Hopefully, you know, my videos definitely get more. You know, I'm learning this whole thing of the channel and everything. So, but again, subscribe, share, questions, you know, I'm here. You know that everybody is not judging you. However, you do need to protect yourself, because everybody ain't for you. All right, this is Tish, 40 Mask Off.